Here on CBS Sports Golazo, it's Numbers On Live, powered by Sofascore, and we will review the 2025 Team of the Year. Chris Wittyngham Nico Cantor ready to walk you through this. We would have done it last week, but Ruben Amorim got sacked, so obviously we had to pivot.
Throw the rundown out.
Let's take a look at it. Joan, García, and this is the 2025 calendar year, so half of that time is with Espanyol, half of that time is with now. Valdemar Anton and Nico Schlotterbeck being in there is actually surprising. Mind you, this is the best Sofascore rating, which is a bunch of data points compiled into one that basically give you this coefficient from 0 to 10 witty.
Yeah, I love this system too that could never be deployed in an actual game. But you know what? It doesn't matter because we got to get the best players in. You mentioned the defenders. No surprise, Yamal and Pedri and Rafinha representing Barcelona. Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. Michael Olise, who I thought was absolutely sensational last year. You know who was a player? I guess it's because of the injuries in the first half of this season. Ousmane Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner, is not in this team.
Yeah, definitely.
It would be because of the injuries.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I don't know how much those performances or him slowly getting back into it affected his overall rating, because from January to May, he was absolutely unstoppable. But it's interesting that a lot of these guys, or some of these guys, changed teams. Like I look at Michael Olise, but we did mention Joan García went from playing for Espanyol to playing for Barcelona and being lights out, so much so that the narrative has shifted in favor of Joan García joining the national team, making his national team debut, where Unai Simon has really been the main guy for so long. So, mind you, this is the trio that he'd have to work his way into for the Spanish national team at the World Cup. He's producing more saves a game than either of these two. But this is a team that's obviously a little bit more exposed, perhaps, than David Raya and Unai Simon's Arsenal and Athletic Club combined. Also, mind you, 3.4 with Espanyol as well. That probably has to rely on goalkeepers saving them a bunch of times.
Yeah, I think the goals prevented metric is usually the first one I look at in terms of goalkeepers. You look at 8 goals prevented over the calendar year is an absolutely incredible figure. And you talk about that level of exposure. You're basically, as Joan García, dealing with 20 one-on-ones over the course of half a season, 25 one-on-ones over the course of half a season, and he has come up big in a lot of those moments. But I think as we go now to WTF Stats of the Week, let's look at a very FA Cup-centric WTF Stats of the Week.
Okay.
And we'll begin with Manchester United losing at the weekend to Brighton, which confirms that they will have the lowest number of games that they have ever had in a season since before the First World War, 111 years ago.
Wow.
The World War was the reason why they only played 40 games that season.
Really?
You get knocked out in the Carabao Cup in the first attempt. You get knocked out in the FA Cup in the first attempt. You're not playing in Europe. The 38 Premier League games. They're only playing 40 games, and you would think they would take that time to improve. Instead, they've sacked their manager, and here they are.
So, only playing 40 games 111 years ago was because of a war breaking out in the world, and now it's war breaking out in the boardroom, basically. Jeez, this is not great.
Yeah, not great.
So, Crystal Palace lost to Macclesfield FC, formerly the Phoenix Club of Macclesfield Town. They are non-league. It's the first time since 1909 that the FA Cup holders, the reigning champions, were beat by a non-league team. Guess who was that team that ended up beating Wolves in that 1909 season?
Was it Crystal Palace?
It was.
Wow, when they were non-league.
Yeah.
Crazy. Over 110 spots between Macclesfield FC and Crystal Palace. Incredible achievement for a town that desperately needed that result.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and to round off this segment, we always like to add a little bit of trivia. We don't know what's happening. It's first guess the player and then guess the team. So without further ado, we're going to try to guess a little bit who is the mystery man here. So this is guess the player. We're looking at shots per game in the Premier League. Clue, they are all from the same club. So I would imagine it's Arsenal, right?
Would it? I don't know. I feel like they're a team that don't necessarily crank up the attacking chances. They're not getting tons of shots per game.
Okay,
I guess that is the... What?
Like who's next? Who's here?
Honestly, I'm thinking like Newcastle. Like Nick Voltemata and Harvey Barnes and something like that. Clue number 2, none of them is the club's new center forward signed this summer for $76 million.
So
maybe like Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes. Was it indeed 76 million euro for them? Or honestly, you might be on the right track with Arsenal because that would be the Gyökeres.
Right. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Do we have a third clue? production?
No, all right.
No,
So go for your guy. You're going to go the Arsenal guys?
Oh, no,
it's all the Manchester United guys.
Wow, it's Šeško. Wow, look. And I mean, they're nearing Champions League places. All right, Cunha and and Bruno's up there. That doesn't surprise me. But that Cunha and Mbeumo are taking that many shots per game. Well, pretty impressive for them. I mean, Jared Bowen is a team that's fighting for relegation.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Manchester United obviously need more of those to be goals. So that was Guess the Player. Time now for Guess the Team.
Okay.
And the production team will now reveal the clues to us for what the team is that we're guessing. A top 5 league team currently sitting 8th in its league with these stats: 7 wins, 7 draws, and 6 losses, and a 21 goals for, 16 goals against goal difference.
Okay.
Currently sitting in 8th in the league. So that is the first clue. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. Clue number 2. This team leads the league in clean sheets, but also in red cards. No other team has received more than 3.
Gotta be Chelsea, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Chelsea are certainly there.
But with clean sheets and red cards, the clean sheets.
Oh, I actually know the answer to this. Or do I? Yes. Okay, so in a league game on December 13th, they scored a late winner despite being 2 men down. This is Lazio, because I was commentating that game that Lazio beat against Parma. They were down to 9 men in that game, 7 red cards. Their mascot is an eagle.
Wow.
That is the correct answer. It is Lazio. And I remember that game against Parma. It was on actually broadcast CBS. And Lazio were down to 9 men in that game. Yeah, they picked up a ton of red cards this season and honestly do not play a very aesthetically pleasing style of football, but Maurizio Sarri is grinding out the results currently in 8th.
Pretty impressive that they have the most red cards, but also the most clean sheets.
Yeah, it's a real riddle. It's a real riddle, Lazio, this season.
I feel like somehow that would work inversely against each other.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
that's why there are WTF stats, right?
That is it for Sofascore's Numbers Don't Lie. Chris Wittyngham, Nico Cantor. See you guys next time. Hey, thanks for watching this video from Numbers Don't Lie. Be sure to catch our show every Monday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. And for news and insights from leagues all around the world, including Serie A, EFL, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.